Good evening. I want to welcome you to our Zoom meeting here at Rombout Middle School to discuss our nine-period day. Thank you for being patient. We just wanted to give people a little bit longer to get logged on. We will put the recording of this, we'll make that available on the website. So if you have questions or you missed something, you certainly will be able to access this recording on future dates. A couple quick things. If you have any questions, we do have my amazing assistant principals and one of our guidance counselors. So Miss Pacino, Miss Benson, and Miss DeSimone are all here. They are going to be handling the chat feature. So if you have questions during the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat. We will do the best we can to get them answered for you in the chat. And if there's anything we can't answer in the chat, we will get back to you via email when we have our answer. You also, if you have additional questions after this presentation, we are here all month. We're not going anywhere. So please feel free to email me or call me here at Rombout Middle School. Be happy to discuss with you any questions you might have or concerns you might have about the nine-period day that we were unable to answer in this session. Just realize as we go through the slides, we will probably get to some things you have questions on. I just can't answer them all at once, but we're going to do the best we can to give you as much information as possible. We've been working really hard on this transition to the nine-period day. We are very excited about it. I apologize there was not more information near the end of the school year, but we really weren't ready to put information out until we had our schedule built, set, and that took time when the students were out of the building to accomplish. So thank you for your patience, and here we go with our nine-period day presentation. So limitations of the eight-period day, which really why did we go to a nine-period day? Some of the limitations that we were dealing with were students enrolled in support classes such as AIS were missing out on state-mandated electives. We had eighth grade students who were enrolled in our life science biology and or who chose to continue with band or chorus. They were missing out on state mandated electives that they were supposed to be taking. And we had difficulty adding additional enrichment courses due to the lack of room in student schedules. Everybody's schedule was full, and some students were missing things because their schedules were full with taking additional things. So it kind of locked us up in our availability to provide more for the students here at Rombout. So some of the advantages of going to a nine-period day, which I will say most middle schools do run a nine-period day. Students who were previously missing electives will now have more availability within their schedule. New course offerings at all three grade levels that we are able to now do based on the availability of student schedules. Students are now going to be allowed to take band and chorus if they are interested in both. We did send an email out earlier in the summer about that. If you or your child are interested in doing both band and chorus, just email the guidance counselor and let them know. And we will, if they're able to, put them in band and chorus so that they no longer have to choose between those two things. Just understand taking both of those could cause them to miss something else that we're offering. More availability to assign common planning and prep time for our grade level content area teachers and for our ICT teams. And opportunity for study hall in 7th and 8th grade. So that's not something that's built into our 6th grade schedules. And in 7th and 8th grade, study halls will be based on availability within a student schedule. It's not a sure thing that they'll get one. But if that's something that you're interested in, you can certainly contact our guidance office and we'll let you know if they have room in their schedule for a study hall, or you may not want them to have a study hall and we'll let you know if there are additional classes they're able to enroll in so that they don't have a study hall. Some just important times for everybody. So with the move to the nine-period day, it does change our schedule a little bit, but not drastically. So 7:45 a.m., we are going to have students may enter our cafeteria for breakfast. Remember, every student is entitled to a free breakfast at Rombout Middle School, as well as a free lunch. 7:57 a.m. I know sounds like a weird time because it is, but that's what we're going with based on how long we want students in the hallway. So at 7:57, we're going to release students from the cafeteria and allow students in through the kiosk to start to head to lockers and or first period class. Anybody new to the school, lockers are issued on the first day of school, so that does not come home in any sort of mailing. So please don't be looking for lockers. That gets taken care of on the first day of school. 8:05, period one is going to begin for our sixth grade students. At 8:09 a.m., period one will begin for our seventh and eighth grade students. So we are still going to have a staggered schedule where the classes from sixth graders start 4 minutes earlier than the classes for our seventh and eighth grade students. Dismissal times, 2:41 p.m. is our sixth grade dismissal, which is the same as it was last year, and 2:45 p.m. will be our grade 7 and 8 dismissal, and that is exactly what it was last year as well. So our bell schedules are sitting right here. We will have them all over the place, but these are the new bell schedules. Sixth grade is on our left side of the screen. I'm not going to read all the times because I don't think anybody wants me to sit here and read all the times, but I will make a note that our lunch periods, so period 5 for our sixth graders is going to be their lunch, and that lunch is going to be the entire sixth grade eating at once at this time. In past years, we have done a split lunch and recess for our sixth graders. And what we did was half the students had recess, the other half had lunch. Going to the 9-period day shortened our periods by 5 minutes. The reason we are going to a full period lunch for our incoming sixth graders is that I'm worried that with only a 40-minute lunch period, trying to split the lunch and recess is ultimately going to result in less time for students to eat and less time for students to have recess because we have a lot of transitioning to get them from lunch to recess. So we are going one full lunch period for our sixth graders. If for any reason during the year we feel like that is overwhelming them, we can always at that time split it. But right now, period 5 is our sixth grade lunch. If you go over to our seventh and eighth grade schedule, period 6 is our seventh grade lunch, and period 7 is our eighth grade lunch. Everything else is just their 40-minute periods all day long. So sixth grade, we're going to start with them. Their 8-period day schedule that they had last year. So all sixth graders would have had a block of ELA. So it wasn't necessarily their first 2 classes, but for our purposes right now, I'm showing it as like their first 2 classes. So every sixth grader had 2 periods of ELA back to back, a period of math, they had a lunch, they had a period of science, a period of social studies, and then in 7 and 8, you'll see those are what we call their elective classes. So every sixth grader had PE, art, music, tech. If they were in an AIS class, they were going to miss art, music, or tech. If they were in 2 AIS classes, they would have missed 2 of those courses. So adjusting to a 9-period day with additions has allowed us now, we're bringing a new elective in for our sixth graders. We're bringing in health. So we felt health was something that we were lacking because we don't offer it until 8th grade. And we feel like only getting it in 8th grade is really leaving a long time from students coming from elementary into middle to not have any health education. So that is going to become an elective for sixth graders. And the other elective we're calling life design skills. Life design skills is a new sixth grade elective intended to provide students with a social emotional learning curriculum that includes, but it's not limited to, the positivity project, which they've been doing in the elementary schools. In addition, it is intended to help students with the overall transition into middle school. So the 9th period for our students in 6th grade, they're going to get health and life design skills. Now, if they're taking an AIS class, we would probably replace life design skills first. If you get your students' schedule near the end of August and you see they don't have life design skills and you really want them to have life design skills, just call us. Message Ms. Patterson, the 6th grade counselor, let her know you'd really like them to have the life design skills. Can they miss one of the other electives? The only one they cannot miss is PE. But we certainly would try to work with you so that your student is getting the courses that you would like them to have. But sixth graders really don't have any choice here. These classes are all set for them. The only time choice is going to come in is if they're getting one of our support classes or if they want to do band and chorus. So if they were to do band and chorus, then that is also going to move one of their other electives out. And again, we would like your input on that so that they're taking the classes they'd like to while at Rombout. In seventh grade, what their 8-period day schedule looked like: period of ELA, period of math, period of science, period of social studies, lunch. They had a period of world language. The offerings we have at Rombout are Italian and Spanish. And then their electives were PE, art, music, and technology. So seventh grade has the most changes going on. We are adding a new elective that is going to be one that we're giving all students. That elective for our 9-period day is going to be called Innovators in Action. Mr. Castoldi, one of our seventh grade social studies teachers, has worked really hard on this course. And to give you a little idea, this course is intended to incorporate attributes of Portrait of a Graduate through hands-on interactions with local businesses, ranging from small startups to established corporations. Students will explore real-world challenges, design creative solutions, and apply critical thinking across multiple disciplines. So our goal is that all students will get this elective. Like, this will be an automatic that goes in just like PE, art, music, and technology. We feel like this elective is really geared towards the Portrait of a Graduate, and we're excited about that. The next thing that we're adding in seventh grade is what we're calling 10-week electives. So this is the hardest thing I'm probably going to have to explain tonight, but 10-week electives are classes that are going to meet every other day. So they're going to meet on the A-B day schedule, just like PE, just like art, just like music, just like technology, only they're only going to meet for a half a year. So that's why we're calling them 10 weeks. They're not meeting 10 straight weeks. They're meeting every other day for either the first semester or every other day for the second semester. So the first one you see there is Math Learning Lab. That is an automatic. We are taking any student that is enrolled in our seventh grade advanced math, and we are giving them 10-week Math Learning Lab. The purpose of that is when we're doing our advanced math, we are trying to get students through grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9 math. So we're trying to get them through 4 years of math in 3 years. It's a lot, and we feel like there really needs to be some more time dedicated to ensuring that students are not missing important skills while they're taking this advanced class. So the Math Learning Lab is going to be every other day for 10 weeks. I believe it's all semester 1 right now, and that's designed to help our seventh grade students be more prepared as they go into 8th grade and take algebra, getting them ready for the Regents exam. The next ones you see, film as literature, family and consumer science, sports, history, growth, and economics, video and media production. There are 4 of them. Most students are not going to get all 4 of these electives. There's not that much space in their schedules to do it, but we wanted to provide students with some options, some interesting things that we thought could be really enhance our 7th grade curriculum. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Before I do that, just want you to realize that period 9, not that it would be their 9th period, for a standard schedule would add innovators every other day, and 2 of these 10-week electives would balance it out for the entire year. That would be like the basic concept behind it. Just so that you're aware, you cannot take the 10-week electives and replace PE, art, music, or technology. They're not able to do that. They're only 10 weeks there, not every day, every other day, all year long. 7th grade 10-week electives. This is just giving a breakdown or a snippet on each of the courses. I'll read it. So the sports, history, growth, and economics explores the historical development, evolution, and economic significance of key global and national sports. students will examine the cultural, social, political, and economic forces that have shaped major sports with a focus on both professional and amateur sports. Video and media production. Audio visual production will introduce students to the industry of video, film, and or podcast production, writing scripts, camera operation, use of graphics and other visuals, audio techniques, editing, and production of principles will be covered. I'm sorry, production principles will be covered. Film as literature. Throughout the course, you'll watch and analyze scenes from popular films, explore short films, compare books to their movie adaptations, and uncover the hidden meanings behind characters, themes, symbols, music, and special filmmaking techniques. Family and consumer science. Before I read that one, so if you're thinking like typically our eighth graders had home and careers, so this is a seventh grade version, 10 weeks of home and careers, which is really called family and consumer science. We're also making that adjustment with the name of the course in our eighth grade. So it's hands-on. Culinary lab brings math, science, and language skills to life as students mix and measure their way to delicious foods. Collaboration, time management, and teamwork enable students to develop essential skills and build relationships with their peers. Again, students are not going to have all of these electives. But some students will get two of them. We're going to get into a little bit later in this how that selection process took place. And also just remember, if you get the schedule and there's a class they really want that's not on there, just contact us. I will tell you, these 10-week electives are not offered every period. And so sometimes it's just not physically possible within a student's schedule to get into some of them. We only have most of them offered 1 to 2 periods based on our availability with staffing. But we are really excited about introducing these in seventh grade. Eighth grade. So eighth grade had ELA, math, science, social studies, world language, lunch, PE, health, then home and careers and tech were their electives. There's not a lot of change to our eighth grade in terms of additions. But eighth grade was the grade that we found the biggest number of issues were occurring where students were missing their core electives that were state mandates. So we're trying to fix that with our 9-period day additions, starting with what I am very excited about is Tech 8 being revamped. So Tech has been an eighth grade elective all along. We are completely changing what Tech 8 looks like at Rombout Middle School. It is no longer going to be the hands-on or the computer-based class that they've had. Now we are taking our eighth grade tech and transforming it into a hands-on approach with more of a focus on woodworking and other trades. We're trying to go back to bringing woodworking and electrical and plumbing back into the schools to introduce our students to those hands-on things and skills that we think are necessary for them in their life as they get out of school. Studio art, which is our advanced art class, previously has only been offered before school. This year, coming up with the 9-period day, we are offering one session before school and also one session period 1 during our school day. If you are an eighth grade student that's taking it, the advantage of taking it before school is if you take studio art, which is an everyday class during the day, it would wipe out one whole period in that student schedule, making them miss electives or other offerings that are available. So doing it in the morning allows them to have more flexibility in the day at Rombout. Art 8, we are bringing in Art 8. It is going to be a 10-week elective in eighth grade. You won't be able to take Art 8 in place of like health or home and careers or PE. But if your student has a study hall, they would be able to take Art 8 for 10 weeks, which means every other day for a semester, either first half or second half, to be able to have an art class to participate in during the school day at Rombout. And that just explains it right there. Okay. Next up, we're going to try to go through some schedules because there's some changes to the schedules with the 9 period day, and I just want to help you be able to read your child's schedule when they get home. So all the basic information is still the same. You're going to see the period, the term, the course, which really doesn't matter to anybody. I think we actually block that out when we send it home anyway, so that students don't look for those as rooms. Course name, teacher, and of course the room number. So what's important is term. If you notice on a 6th grade sample schedule, Y1, if you see Y1, they're taking that class all year long. It's not changing at all. So in the 6th grade, everything they take is all year long. Sometimes it's an alternating A B day class, other times it's every day. So, oops. If you look at this student's schedule, period 1, 2, AB means periods 1 and 2, this student has English 6 with Miss Gonzalez. They are in that class first and second period. They don't transition from 1 to 2. That's their block of ELA. Period 3, it says AB. That's their social studies class that meets every day. Then you'll notice here 4A and 4B. So on an A day, this student would have music. On a B day, period 4, this student would have health. Those two classes are alternating on an every other day basis. Everything else is the way it looks on that schedule. They have lunch, science. You come down here, period 7 is an A, B day class. A days is art, B days exploring technology. All right, 7th grade. So 7th grade is probably our most complicated schedules, but we're going to do the best we can to try to walk you through it because in 7th grade, you're going to notice period 4 here. They got 4A, 4A, 4B. So I'm going to try to walk you through that right now. 4B says Y1 Innovators in Action. That means that every 4th period B day for the entire year, they're going to have this class. This class runs all year, only on B days, period 4. If you look above it, if you look above it, 4A S1 means semester 1, which basically goes from the start of the year in September through just about the end of January. They're going to have video and media production. So on an A day for the first semester, they'll have video media production. The B day, they got Innovators in Action. When we get to the end of January and we turn to semester 2, which is quarter 3, they're now, instead of having video and media production on 4A, they're going to have family and consumer science on 4A, but 4B is still going to be Innovators in Action. Sample schedule 2 for 7th grade. I want to show you on this one is 7A, B, B. So 7A, they have Art 7, year 1. So all year they have the art. Okay. Every other day, A days, period 7. The B days are your semester 1 and semester 2. So semester 1, they've got family and consumer science. So again, September through the mid to end January, they're going to go art on an A day, family and consumer science on the B day. We get to the end of January, we turn to quarter 3. They don't have family and consumer science anymore. They now have study hall. So the second half of the school year, this student will still have art 7A, but will have study hall 7B. That's just trying to show you how they read that schedule. 8th grade, sample schedule number 1. This is going to be for a student that has no study hall. So what we're showing you about this student is period 2 AB day. They are in our advanced Regents level life science biology class. Being in life science biology means you are going to have a biology lab that's associated with that. So this student who has biology period 2 is going to have lab period 3B. This student also is taking band. So what we allow at Rombout Middle School is we allow students to continue on in band and chorus in eighth grade, even though their music requirement in terms of state mandate has been met already. So 3A, they're going to be in band. 3B, they're going to be in life science biology. That leaves them no room for a study hall because they're already taking additional electives. But what's really important is by going to a 9 period day, this student who's taking advanced science and continuing on in band is not going to miss the electives that they're supposed to get. So they're still going to be in health. They're always going to be in PE because it's mandated. They're going to get their Tech 8 and they're going to get their Family and Consumer Science 8, which most of you have always known as Home and Careers. This student will no longer miss the mandated state electives that they have traditionally been moving. If this was last year, this student would only have been able to take either health, technology, or home and careers. They would have had to give up two of those electives in order to have this schedule to be in advanced science and continue on in band. Reminder, we are allowing them to continue to choose band and chorus. So if they did pick chorus as well, you would have to lose one of the gold arrowed electives in order to do band and chorus with the schedule you're looking at currently. Sample schedule 2 is going to show you a study hall example for an eighth grade student. So if you look at this student's schedule, period 3A, they've got AIS literacy. That's a support class for literacy. This student's schedule has no band or chorus, which is fine. They have no life science lab, which is fine. No AIS math. So having none of those and having a support class means that they're going to get a study hall as well because the support class is every other day. So it's 3A. That's bouncing off of health here. So on an A day, literacy, on a B day, health. Then you're seeing the study hall comes in on period 4. They've got a study hall every period 4A. So every other day, period 4. And they have art 8 also showing up there. Oops, I went back to that. So sample schedule 3, study hall every day. Again, no band, chorus, no life science, no AS math. Their study hall is period 1 on an A day and period 3B. So on a B day, period 3, on an A day, period 1, they are going to have a period of study hall every day during the school year. All right. So now we want to get to how did some of this happen? So how student courses are selected for our incoming 6th graders. Advanced math. Those recommendations came from 5th grade teachers. If you feel like your student should have been in advanced math and it's not on their schedule, just email their math teacher when the year starts. Every year we make adjustments about 5 weeks into the school year. If we have students in our regular math classes that are just excelling, we want to put them in the advanced math class. We'll be reaching out to you. So just because they don't have it on their schedule now doesn't mean it's not available to them. If they're excelling the first 5 weeks of the year, we're certainly going to make that adjustment. So by student parent request, you can now take both band and chorus. So that should just be an email to Ms. Patterson, the 6th grade guidance counselor. Just realize that taking both of those would replace one of their other electives. Any student enrolled in support classes for literacy and or math will miss other electives. So life design skills would likely be the first one we would drop. But again, like I told you, if that's not how you want it to be, just send us an email and we'll work with you to make sure that they're getting the experience that you would like them to have here at Rombout. If a schedule is missing an elective, a student really wants, just contact the guidance counselor, Ms. Patterson. She's not here every day, but she is in over the summer. So if you email her, just be patient. She will get back to you and we'll make the necessary adjustments. How courses are selected for our 7th graders this year. So math lab, I already told you earlier, if they're in advanced math, we're automatically putting them in this math lab because we really want to cut down on the gaps that we have going through the advanced math curriculum. By student parent request, they can take band and chorus. So that's the same at all three grade levels. I know that's getting repetitive, but if you do it, please realize they're going to miss another elective to do it. Innovators in action, everybody's getting that one, so we're just mass putting the students in there. Again, one of the real big pushes with that is it is part of our alignment with Portrait of a Graduate. Student choice survey. We gave out a student choice survey for the 10-week electives. This happened like the last 2 weeks of the school year. So this is any students with openings in their schedule will be enrolled accordingly. So if a student's schedule is missing an elective they really want, they can contact their counselor, Ms. DeSimone or Ms. Vergidamo. We had students rank the electives that we are offering for 10 weeks, and we try to put them in their top choice based on what they responded on the survey. Now, the schedule comes home and they picked one and you really want them to take a different one, just contact us and we'll let you know if it's something that we can make a change on. All right. We Next year the choice selection will happen earlier on, but we were still developing the courses for these 10-week classes that were going to happen in seventh grade as we were getting towards the end of the school year. And so it was difficult to put out a survey when we didn't have complete information yet. So that's why the survey just went to the students and there wasn't a lot of things going home. So if you're a sixth grade parent right now, you should expect that something will come home with them next year, or we'll let you know that they're selecting from it next year so that you can have some input with them as they're doing that. How students are selected for incoming eighth graders. The life science biology class, that's recommendations are made by seventh grade science teachers. Students enrolled in that class must take the lab that goes with it. It's a Regents course, and there is a lab requirement that goes there, which takes up a spot in their schedule. Advanced art, students who were selected for advanced art and chose to take it during the school day will miss certain electives. Students who choose to continue with band or chorus may miss certain electives by parent or student request. They can do both. And then any eighth grade student with openings in their schedule will be assigned a study hall. All right. Just while we have you here, school supply lists are up on our website. They've been up all summer. Don't go looking for school supply lists for those 10-week seventh grade classes. Like, don't worry about that. We'll talk to them when they get here. We're just getting those things off the ground. But if you want your core classes, those lists are all up on the school website. This is just a screenshot so you can see where on the Rombout webpage you can go for that information. Next up, for our incoming sixth graders, orientation is Tuesday, September 1st, session 1, 9 a.m. to 11. Glenham and JVF students, session 2, 12:30 to 2:30. Our South and Sargent students. If you're new to the district, you can attend either session. That could be if you're going into seventh or eighth. You're more than welcome to come to that as a new student and attend one of those. Both sessions will begin in the RMS cafeteria with a short presentation from administration. After that presentation, you'll be able to walk around the building, assist your student with finding their classes. Schedules will be mailed out prior to the orientation, and additional copies will be available at the orientation. If you're away on vacation September 1st, just contact us. We'll figure out a way to get you in to see the building so that your student feels comfortable before the first day of school. The last thing we want is somebody coming in uncomfortable on September 8th. Please, we're not looking for you to revamp vacation, but we are dedicating Tuesday, September 1st for our main orientations. The reason we split them is if I bring all the students and all the parents in at one time session, it just makes the hallways really crowded, the cafeteria really crowded, and much more difficult to navigate the building. So having just two schools at once allows for a much smoother walk around the building to find things, and it also gives you a lot more access to our administration and our guidance counselor, so if you have questions, you're not waiting on huge lines to get answers. The last slide I have of the night is just while we're doing a presentation, this is our contact communication slide. If you want extensions or emails, you have it here so that you know who to contact for what. You can put this on your fridge. But please, if we didn't answer your question tonight, call us. We're happy to answer them. We're here all summer. We're trying to get as much information as we can out on the 9 period day. But any confusion, any concern, call us. We'd be happy to talk to you on the phone, meet with you in person, get information to a counselor, whatever it might be. We're more than happy to help you with that as we're getting closer to the school year. And that is the end of our presentation. I really want to thank you for joining. If you joined this evening, um, again, follow up with an email if you didn't get a question answered tonight. But thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see everybody soon.